So from our perspective here on the Earth, the Sun has now moved on into gateway number 11, hexagram number 11. And that part of the star fields that we associate in the tail end of the sun sign of Sagittarius, the zodiac sign of Sagittarius. Sagittarius is always about looking into the future, and we said about this particular part of the wheel that the bottom three chop marks are going to be three yang chop marks, three yang lines, three creative, purposeful, yang, outgoing chop marks. And so here we come to the particular hexagram where the three top chop marks are broken ones, receptive, yin. So the nature of yang is the energy rises. The nature of yin is the energy falls. And so here we have in this hexagram energetically a coming together of rising energy and falling energy. So we say about the three solid lines, they're like heaven, the height, what we're aiming towards. And the three broken lines are earth. And so what's happening here is earth and heaven are coming together. So what happens when we get heaven on earth or earth on heaven? We get the gateway number 11, the gateway of peace and ideas and harmony. And then we all love it when we have harmony in our life. So here we are. This is the 11th gateway. These are the pages, and you can make out the channel here is going to involve the mind center connecting to the throat center. So the 11th gateway in the mind center, and the potential connection through this channel, the 1156, which is the channel that we call curiosity, seeking and searching. And surely, you know, ideas, we can expand into all kinds of different ways of seeing life. We can expand our belief systems, our whole sense of, well, some people do it like this, other people do it like that. There's all kinds of different ways in which life can be lived out. But ultimately, ideas are always looking towards a sense of harmony, where there's a sense of completion in a way. So let's have a look, see at the wheel. We have the 11th gateway right up in the top there. And this is the last of these hexagrams where the bottom three chop marks are yang, creative, heaven-oriented growth, expansion. And the 56 in the bottom right-hand corner there, one of the last voices in that quarter of the wheel, the voice of beliefs, concepts, ideas. We call it the wanderer. And people with a 56 naturally love expansion, love new possibilities, opening up new frontiers in a way of experience. So the whole channel, the 1156, is channel of experience and curiosity. People that have that channel, you'll know there's very little satisfaction until something reveals itself, that you'll leave no stone unturned. You'll check out all kinds of different religions, ways of doing things, concepts, ideas, belief systems, patterns. And there it is. It's a lifetime of seeking and searching. So the 11th gateway is constantly downloading or giving us new ideas, new possibilities. We call it the gateway of harmony, peace and ideas. Harmony comes from within. It's an amazing thing to recognize. Yes, we can go into a very harmonic place, but that sense of harmony is within and emanates out to the world. Looks like always that life's on the outside, where in actual fact, how we get to experience the world is on the inside. It's our experience of it all. Small ideas can yield large returns. That is the nature of the 11th hexagram. And it's just seeing that all kinds of ideas can go and expand into all kinds of different realities. And it's all about having an experience of life. So the commentary here is balancing between espousing ideas that promote social harmony and embracing beliefs that are grounded in your present reality. So we would have to say about this particular area of design, it's in what we call the collective circuitry. And collective circuitry is very much about sharing beliefs and ideals and rules and regulations and concepts and ideals. And this 11th gateway has the means of recognizing what it is that society can really benefit from, what it is that brings that potential benefit. And so the ideas that come through the 11th gateway are either potentially very practical, these are things that we can put into life, or they can be very idealistic and very, in a sense, obscure. They can be unrealistic ideas, fantastical ideas. And so the whole thing is recognizing, all right, I got all these ideas, can they be practical in this particular moment in time? We relate the 11th gateway very much to the left eye, the receptive eye, if you will. The 17 is the right eye and the more outgoing eye, observing eye. And so what do we take in through this 11th gateway of ours? Through the left eye, we get to experience the world around us and absorb what it is that goes on. Ideas are constant, flowing, new, different, original, old, wherever. They're constantly flowing through. And when we say that this 11th gateway very much outlines what we might describe as belief systems and belief patterns, we see it also extends into religions and the whole concept of religions. And within the religions, certain belief systems, belief patterns. And so the thing of it is, life doesn't stand still. Life is always expanding, life is always offering us new possibilities. And so there's a difficulty with the 11th gateway when it gets stuck in a dogma, when it insists there's only one way of looking at life, and that's that so-and-so lived according to these particular rules and concepts and ideals, and basically everyone else has got to stay within those parameters. And anytime we get stuck in dogma, things go awry. We end up in situations where there are political extremes and religious extremes, and people are actually denied the possibility to live a clear and open life. So the 11th gateway, the whole thing is seeing ideas keep coming all the time. What are they taking us towards? They're taking us towards a sense of harmony and having that harmonic effect in life. So let's have a look at the lines here. The first line here is always foundational in any hexagram. And so the foundation of harmony is this whole arena of complementing, progressing by finding alignment with your immediate environment. Yes, we got great ideas about how things were and how things could be, but the bottom line with all ideas is can I relate to them right now? What's the reality right now? Or do I have this potential to edge into dogma? Well, I'm not allowed to have this belief. I'm not allowed to see that things can happen differently. I've got to stay in this particular pattern. I've got to wear this particular uniform, this outfit, and I've got to behave in a particular way. So the whole thing here is it's part of the experiencing circuitry about having life experience. And the first word here in the statement is progressing, like moving on in life by finding alignment with your immediate environment. All right, I've got these concepts and things I play in other environments. Right now, what is the need for this particular moment? How do I find harmony and peace and ideas in this particular situation? Your ideas come and go, right? That's how it is. Finding right company in which to share them is important. If certain ideas appeal to you, then it's very good to be able to find other people that embrace those ideas as well for the needs of the moment. And here with the moon's presence, you easily find those who will appreciate and further your ideas, right? Putting out the ideas brings about a sense of harmony. Oh, you get this, oh, you understand that. And here we start seeing we get on the same page together. With Mars energy, you can be overly worried sometimes that no one ever appreciates your ideas, that you're out on a limb, you just have your own concepts of things. When I look around the world here and see the way that society has set things up, and having traveled a lot into all kinds of different cultures, many of the things that I see get lived out in different cultures, they would be absolutely reprehensible in the culture in which I find myself now. Behavior patterns or ideas or concepts of what is okay, not okay around where I am in these times. And so there's just that thing of there can always be this expansion of possibilities that humanity has all kinds of different ways of living life. And I work on the basis that everybody on the planet is crazy. Everybody. We're all crazy. I mean, nobody knows what life is in the first place. It's just we've invented certain concepts and ideas that this is how it's supposed to happen. But, you know, the moment you go outside of that, this made-up environment, yeah, you're living on the edge. You're living in some other reality. You're living in a crazy life. And it's just, with craziness, it's just a case of who's pointing at whom. Who's saying somebody else is crazy? Because we all have different beliefs and different ideas about life. We all get our own points of view about things. So recognizing what are the ideas that are needed or relevant in any particular moment, that's the basis of the 11th hexagram. The second line, the line of a natural approach to things, and it calls itself being independent. Peacefulness, which is partly the nature of the 11th hexagram, heaven on earth, peacefulness is protected through your alertness. And the alertness very much about, is it okay for me to be independent? Or do I have to fit in with everybody else's belief systems, ideas, concepts, and everything else? Tolerance, resolution, and vision are required to maintain peace and foster your creative ideas. You'll have seen in the world, you know, many of the thought leaders have always gone outside the regular mainstream. They've always gone looking into other possibilities. And that's the nature of the 11th hexagram, is just seeing, all right, life is going along in a particular way, but there are certain things in life, you know, to bring about harmony for people, to be able to get on with our neighbors and people in other countries and stuff like that. What are the ideas that promote that? And so the key thing is, in the end, is independence. We're not all about following the sheep in front of us and going along with everybody else's concepts and theologies and everything else. With Neptune here, your expansive imagination is constantly checking all possibilities for a harmonious life. And we'll have found some of the greatest inputs in bringing about peace have been completely original ideas that people have come up with. And just say, okay, we've been bulldozing along in a particular way. Here is a completely alternative viewpoint of things. Why don't we give this a go? And it is all about having the experience. That's what this experiential circuitry, and particularly the 11th gateway, is all about, is seeing which way can we look to get real experience in life. The Mars side of things, being confronted because you engage your provocative ideas just to escape boredom. Try anything. We'll give anything a go. And throwing out ideas, you know, I'm just expressing my independence here, but they really don't fit the needs of the moment necessarily. They can be obstructionist. The third line's always in this experimental stage in life, always pushing the envelope, and this is about allowing for change. Maintaining peacefulness requires relevant and fresh ideas. That's the whole thing. Ideas keep bubbling up. Are they fresh, or are they just stale and old concepts, old belief systems? Are we able to engage with the changing of the seasons, for example? You need to discern a difference between valuable ideas and those that are simply idealistic. And here it is. The bottom line is what's practical. What are the ideas that are practical that can be implemented in a way that brings about harmony? That's the bottom line with it. So third lines are always experimenting, always pushing the envelope, always going beyond what anyone's done before, testing things out. They are truly the pioneers of all hexagrams. And this is about allowing for change and just seeing, yeah, change can come about. Change is natural. With Pluto's energy appreciating each moment, you acknowledge that times of peace come and go. Right? So when peace goes, what do? We come up with new ideas to promote peace again. And life would be dull if there was no interruptions to peace. You know, we're just lolling around all the time on the beach. And yes, great. But sooner or later, life gets boring. Something has to happen. And something happens, and sure enough, we come up with a new belief or a new viewpoint or a new idea around things. The Venus side of things, you have a tendency to become lulled by an unrealistic attachment to harmony. And there it is. Life will not let us live in a state of flatline boredom the whole time. There's always potential interruption. And the thing is to embrace that interruption, because it's allowing us to promote new concepts, new ideas in our life, shaking things up a little bit. And that is a normal way of life. The fourth line, the influential line, sharing ideals. The fourth line is naturally influential, naturally able to reach a larger audience, promote things, and a natural promoter of harmony. Can't we all just get an ability to consider and convey ideas of merit to others? Just ideas. Here's a possibility. Here's something for you. Now, it very often happens when the 11th gate is activated, is that the ideas come through, and if the 56th gateway is not there, there's nobody necessarily to tell them to. And I very often say to people, look, you've got the 11th gateway in your chart, or particularly in this time when the sun is energizing the 11th gateway, be prepared that ideas are just going to come your way, out of the blue sometimes. And there's nobody necessarily to talk to with them or express what it is that just happened for you. Write them down, record them in some way or other. Because if you don't, these ideas will just evaporate and disappear. And very often people with this 11th gateway, they get ideas, but they never hang on to them. It's just they realize, well, I'm a fountain for all kinds of ideas coming through. And what I'm saying is really good thing to write them down or record them in some way or other and end up with a whole, maybe journal full of these ideas. And what you might find is that journal of ideas and these concepts and things that came to you out of the blue, they can go into a book, they can go into a training, they can go into a relating of your life, of what it is that's happened to you in this life. It may not be you that puts it all together. You may hand all this information off to somebody else. Somebody who's really good at editing. And they can put all these different concepts together and actually make a whole work out of it. So be aware of this and let the sun really brighten your life while it's going through this 11th gateway, and just be open to the ideas that come to you and make note of them. This 11 with the fourth line, the sharing of ideals, is a natural teacher in this particular line. People with the 11 with the fourth line, you'll just see that part of your life is be able to relay things to people. But it's about realizing who's capable of hearing them and who is the audience. Some things are obvious, right? It just came to me. I've got this idea. It's obvious. Anyone can do something with this. Some things can be taught. Let's sit down and we'll make a study out of this. And some things have to be transmitted. Some of the ideas are so out there, it's not that everybody's going to be able to get them. The moon's energy here, you have a gift of being able to teach and deliver concepts to almost anyone. Right? It's just they're obvious. These are ideas that come through. Everybody could see the merit in the ideas. Then Venus has an input here. You promote a sense of harmony that eventually appeals to even those who are disillusioned. Oh, nothing ever happens in my life. And hang on, all of a sudden here's an idea. Maybe you could put this into your life and it would change all kinds of things for you. Right? They're ready to hear that. The sun's energy also gives a third possibility here. You transmit particular ideals which can only be sensed by a select few. And people with this 11th hexagram on the fourth line, they'll realize that about themselves. Yeah, there's things that want to come through, the things that want to get relayed into the world. But either I have to really make it easy for other people to be able to understand, or just recognize, it doesn't matter how I put this across, some people are just not going to get it. And being patient with that. The whole energy here is sharing the ideals, but who's capable of following through on them? Can the ideals be brought to life and reality and practicality? Then we go to the fifth line, the ruler who serves. It's an interesting concept that all rulers actually serve. They serve their people if they're playing their role correctly. Giving perspective through expansive ideals. We could do this, we can expand on this, we can grow. And there it is. The fifth line has that potential to see things that other people can't see, to be able to transmit these things, to put them across. You overflow with beneficial ideals, given either from a sense of service or from your insecurity. And this is an interesting one for a fifth line. Are you being true to yourself while you're espousing these ideas? Or are you kind of looking around to see, does anyone get me? They like me? They want to hear from me? Am I actually serving them, or am I kind of going more from a place of, well, I'm just compromising myself on what I imagine they're expecting me to produce? Always with fifth lines, there has to be a reality check. Where am I coming from while I'm delivering these ideas? Am I really looking to promote harmony, or am I looking for people's approval? The moon's energy here, your sensibility for good concepts and how to relate them, benefits all aspects of humanity. Everybody gets served. These are great ideas, great ideals. What are the ideals all about? Peace and harmony. They're ideas that promote a stable, harmonious society where we all just get along with each other. And that is the ruler who serves, the one that provides for a really clear rulership around. Everybody's getting on. The Mercury side of things, you tend to broadcast your ideas regardless of the effect they may have on those listening. And there it is. Just, oh, I got this concept, this idea, we can do this, that, and the other. Have a bunch of ideas, everybody. And we all know about ideas people, and yeah, they can have some really startling ideas sometimes. Is there any practicality to them, or are they just putting it out? Will anything ever happen, or they like to put forward all these concepts, whether there's anything to them or not? Fantastical sometimes. And then we come to the sixth line, and the sixth line in any hexagram is giving the overview of the potential for that hexagram. You know, what can really happen with harmony on planet Earth? And how the sixth line goes about this is being flexible, maintaining an inner balance as all belief patterns change. The way that religions were played 1,000 years ago are very different from how they're played out these days. They're still working on the same basis, the same characters, the same input, but they've been morphed, they've been translated, they've been put into different concepts and ideals or different levels of importance. And we have to understand that in the world, in these years coming, religions are going to dissipate. And it's not a good or a bad thing, because in the end, all religions primarily have been pointing towards the growth, the empowerment, and the support of the individual. And it's just that thing of moving away from dogma, where there's only one perspective or one possibility, to being more flexible and just seeing that there's different ways in which these things can be interpreted. And since we each, as an individual on this planet, come as a unique presence here, each of us has our own very special and particular way of living our life. We didn't come here to go along with somebody else's life. And it's a recorded thing. The greatest regret people have at the end of their life is they suddenly come to the realization they've been living according to everybody else's ideas, that they never really got in touch with their own life. They never lived true to their own nature. And so in the 11 with the fifth line is these are ideas that we can see. The ruler who serves in a way that says this is an idea that's really going to help you expand in your life, to go beyond any fixed parameters. It's going to bring the heaven and earth together. I mean, a lot of religions, heaven is put out as somewhere else, and hell somewhere else. We know perfectly well heaven and hell can live perfectly well on planet Earth. We all had experiences of heaven. We've all had experiences of hell. And the whole thing with the 11th gateway is just seeing, look, in life, in the reality of life, what is it that's available to you in this time? What are the ideas that promote your sense of harmony while you're here? So being flexible, right? Seeing that the harmony is always a mutable thing. The sense of ideas is always moving. Renewal follows adversity when you adjust your beliefs according to prevailing circumstances. Very powerful statement there. Renewal follows adversity. Whenever we're stuck, we're held up, that the beliefs we've been trained so far don't work for the situation that's confronting us. And then we shift a little bit. We see another possibility. And all of a sudden, Renewal follows adversity. We grow, we progress, we advance. Neptune's energy here, embracing new beliefs, allows you to maintain your sense of balance in changing times. There it is, embracing new beliefs. Let's see how this works over here. You move into a different society, you go traveling somewhere. They have a completely different way of living out life than you do. They have different time frame. They have siestas. They have different meal times. They have different things to eat, different beliefs about what it is that promotes for harmony in life. Here with Jupiter, you espouse ideas that will suit any situation, but sometimes at other people's expense. You carry your luggage with you. You carry your beliefs wherever you go. You don't engage with whatever the environment is around you. You bring your own concepts with you. And there's no growth in that. There's no expansion in that. And so things can get stultified. And people just see you're actually not a welcome guest here. You're bringing stuff that we don't want. You're imposing on what it is that works. You're disrupting the harmony in this particular arena here. So there we are. Harmony, peace, ideas, the 11th hexagram, earth on heaven, or heaven on earth. And what can grow from that? We are all looking to find harmony in our lives, and the 11th gateway shows us where to look for those.